when you think about camping, most people think about getting out in the wilderness and exploring nature, but there is another side, especially when it comes to RV camping, and we're going to explore that in today's episode of Travels with Delaney,
the podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. My name's Patrick.
And I'm Patty.
And we are Travels with Delaney, and this is our podcast. We have actually been on YouTube now going on 6 years.
Isn't that crazy?
Trying to share our 18 years of knowledge of RVing, so, maybe you are a little less frustrated and have a little more fun. But we love doing this podcast every other week, where we get to dive into some topics that maybe we don't have the opportunity to over on our YouTube channel.
Right.
But Patty, before we get to today's topic,
all right,
it's time for another round of this or that.
Oh, no. I'm on vacation brain.
I know, but I'm going to make you think.
Oh,
so,
no. Oh, no.
All right, here we go. Tonight's dinner, you have two options.
All right.
All right. Do you want to go out and have gourmet pizza?
Ooh.
And when I say gourmet, I mean like there's a pizza place where they do like the handmade doughs, and then they use the fancy ingredients like fresh mozzarella and whole basil leaves and fresh tomatoes.
So it's not like our local gas station Sunoco pizza?
No, it's not Sunoco pizza.
Okay.
Or do you want to go out and have some fresh local low country cuisine, things like shrimp and grits and fried green tomatoes? Choose wisely, because we still need
they
to figure out
both
what we're
sound
doing
really
for dinner.
good.
They
I know.
do.
See, I'm thinking in my head, at home we can get gourmet pizza.
At Pizza Hut?
No.
Oh, okay.
Aren't you cute? No, we had that local joint. It's called Caruso's.
That's true.
Yeah. And that Italian eatery, and there's places in Fort Wayne, but we can't get the low country food, so I'm thinking low country.
All right, there you go. So I guess we'll go for some low country cuisine tonight.
And what's the name of this place, you know?
I think we're going to maybe then go to the May River Cafe.
Okay. Is this in Bluffton, honey?
It is in Bluffton. And for those of you wondering, we are currently recording in Bluffton, South Carolina.
Yeah, we are.
We are on spring break.
Yeah.
And we have been here now for 6 nights. Tonight's our last night. And then tomorrow, unfortunately, we have to head home.
Right. Back to reality.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to record today's podcast, because we are setting at the Hilton Head National RV Resort.
Right.
We're literally a couple miles from Hilton Head Island. And this is truly a resort.
Yeah, when people put resort names on places, we always kind of joke around and go, okay, is that really a resort? It's just a campground. You know, it's just, it may have a few amenities, but this place is a resort.
This truly is.
It is gorgeous. It's got so many cool things you could do here just on property. It's like, I think it's even fancier than Disney campground a little bit.
I think you might be right. And so I thought, well, let's talk about this place. We did not record a dedicated video while we were here on it. But we thought, you know what, let's here on the podcast talk about it, and also talk about the differences, because I have posted some photos while we were here, and I've seen some comments on Instagram and Facebook, and some people, have made comments about, oh, we don't camp in parking lots and things like that. Other people say, oh, that's not really camping. And so I thought we could explore that topic.
Absolutely, because, we've talked about even on the channel, there's different kinds of camping.
Absolutely.
It's not just going out into the middle of the wilderness that we've done before and using your solar and being out there with no power and blah, blah, blah for a while. But this is fancy.
It is. So we are paying, I believe, about $120 a night here. All the sites are concrete. You park on concrete. You have a concrete patio. Like, you never have to go off concrete.
No, and it's really wide.
Very wide sites.
Yeah.
Full hookup, 50/30, 110. You've got water. You've got sewer. I believe they have a full cable package, which we never plug into, but it is available. And so overall, I mean, this place is pretty fancy. It is gated.
It is, which kind of is, it makes you feel good because, you're just not sure about a new area. And you're like, all right. And it's got different entryways you can come in. It's not always just one entry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there's well over 200 sites. I don't know exactly, but there's well over 200 sites. We're in a small section where we back up to other RVs, but they've staggered them so you're not right back to back. There's some areas that you back up to woods. There's one area that is an adults only area. And it's a little more money to stay over there, but you get some views of the golf course and the water, and you have your own private pool over there. But yeah, so we booked, and when you arrive, they actually greet you, and they take you to your site.
There's actually a valet.
Yeah. And they will not let you go to your site without, and they give you your key cards, which kind of become like your all-purpose card.
Right, you need it.
Yeah, kind of like if you were staying at a hotel.
Right.
And so, when we arrived here, we actually got in late. It was after 8 p.m., but they were so nice, came up, greeted us, got us through the gate, handed us our packet, our key cards, helped me get backed in, made sure we had everything we needed. And so it's definitely the level of service at a place like this. It has really been amazing.
Right, and then they're constantly cleaning.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're constantly like either, they're putting down new mulch, which here it's pine needles.
Right.
And they're cleaning that up after they work on that, and they're coming around wiping down these cute little pedestals that are your power. I call it your power pedestal. That's what I'm calling it. It looks like a little lighthouse, but those things, they clean them off all the time, I guess, where people touch, and they keep them clean.
I guess. I don't know. I've never seen a place polish the power pedestals before.
Well, and I saw someone, because here on our side, we have those, I guess they're called rubbery picnic tables.
They're like a metal table that's been rubber coated.
Yeah,
every site has one.
They clean those off, and then the other side has the high top, kind of like bar stooly tables.
Over in the fancy section.
Yeah, the fancy side.
I do like those. Yeah.
But they're constantly cleaning everywhere. The bathrooms, they're cleaning. And the bathrooms. You could just talk about the bathrooms.
Okay, yeah, we could do a whole podcast just on their bathrooms. I always thought Disney had the best bathrooms for a camera. This place took it to another level.
Because when we would stay at Disney, which we used to have a timeshare, and then we worked at Disney, but we'd always tell people, you got to check out the bathrooms at any resort you go to. Well, this one went into one restroom area. They have the showers for you. They have cool ladies have areas to sit, and there's like orchids, and there's fancy blow dryers that you can use, all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then other ones, they're just as nice, but they just don't have the blow dryers. The tile, you just go on and on and on. The marbly floors, and just the smell.
And they're constantly cleaning.
Yeah, the smell is like a spa smell, I guess, when I walk in there. And then the laundry. Don't get me going on the laundry.
The laundry. Patty,
oh, my gosh.
You spent some time up in the laundry.
I did.
So let's start by, what does it cost to wash and dry? Do you know?
$250 a load.
Okay, that's not bad.
So $250 for wash, $250 for dry. And my experience, because I've done one, I haven't done like 2 washers at a time. Everything fit into one.
One load.
Yeah, and then and there's like stacked. You got the washer at the bottom, dryer at the top, and you pay with a credit card and you swipe, and then you pick what you want, your temperature, and it was spot on. And nothing seemed to be like sometimes it dries it out, or it's not dry enough, or and the spin out, some of our wiki clothes spun out almost dry.
Wow.
That's how, and they're nice, and they're in there cleaning those constantly, and they got a cool table for you to fold, and plenty of room. I don't know. I guess my guess there might be 20 in there.
Okay.
10 on each side. There's
it's
like
a
2
very
rows.
good size laundry room, in my opinion. So.
And if you didn't have your soaps and your, I guess, dryer sheets, things like that you could buy, they had like a little machine.
Right.
And they have everything you need there.
Well, and I will tell you, you like the laundry area, but Truman and Bess liked what was right behind the laundry area, which is the dog park.
Yeah, and that's cool too, because there's 2 sides.
2 sides.
Yeah, one for the larger dogs. They tell you the weight limit.
I think it's 40 pounds is the cutoff.
I think so. And it's, of course, a bigger area for the bigger dogs, and they run. And then you got the smaller side, and they have little, I guess, equipment things in there for the dogs.
Like things agility type things.
If they wanted to.
Yeah, if they want to. Ours are never interested.
They just looked at us like, you do it.
Yeah, and I did, actually.
And each side, because where it's like, we go to some places, and they don't have, for boys, trees.
Right.
Or bushes or things. Well, there's a few little bushes for boys in there.
Yeah.
And then there's a cool, water
station.
Yeah, it looked like a little water fountain for dogs. and then a bench for the human.
Yeah.
So
there's walking trails here.
Yeah. Gravel and paved, or
right.
concrete, I guess.
Yeah, which is nice. So plenty of room for either you or your
right.
fur babies if you want to take them out walking.
Right.
We haven't even got to like the center of the resort. We're kind of talking about some of these ancillary. Well, that's a big word.
Ooh,
ancillary.
wow, you're being fancy.
Yeah. Ooh, fancy. But no, so at the front of the park, I guess that's what we'd say.
Yeah.
It's kind of the front. We have the clubhouse.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Which is, I guess, where normal check-in would be or whatever. And there's a gift shop in there where they carry everything from resort shirts and
local things,
local gifts.
Yeah, like some local like candles or something you were looking at, and jewelry, and then they have even like if you need like a few little things, I guess like duct tape.
Yeah, I bought a roll of duct tape in there. They've got some RV supplies. They've got
s'more supplies if you want your
food,
s'mores.
A little bit of food, a little bit of beverage,
beach supplies.
Yeah, and so that's right there, and then
a little cooler of drinks and stuff like that.
All kinds of stuff, and then there's an exercise room up there.
Okay.
There are pickleball courts.
Yeah.
There's bocce ball courts. There's a basketball court. There is a pool that says the maximum limit is like 764 people, which I'd love to see. 764.
I'd like to see how they shoulder to shoulder.
It is a big pool.
Yeah.
And it is a zero entry pool, which is really
cool.
nice.
It has a little like fountain on one side that little kids love to play in. We were watching, and then there's a lazy river
river that flows into the big pool, and so they have the tubes for you if you just want to float around in the lazy river. And then what I really like up there has been the restaurant/bar.
Isn't that Billy Max or something?
Billy Max, right off of the pool area. And it's not a big menu.
No.
But we went up a couple times.
Great.
Oh, my gosh. The pimento dip with the chips.
Fresh chips.
We've ordered it twice.
And it's not like potato chip. It's like a pita chip or something.
It's kind of like a pita chip, and they always come out warm. Today we actually had, their special was a clam fritter basket. You got, I think, 5 or 6 clam fritters.
Yeah, I think 6 because it was balanced.
Yeah, I think so. We each got 3. And then you got a side with it, and you could have fries, onion rings, coleslaw, or fresh fruit. We opted for
fresh fruit.
And it was a nice size bowl.
It was a lot.
Like I was expecting one of those little
tiny little things.
Those tiny little cups.
Like a condiment cup.
Like a condiment cup. No, this is a big bowl. And she was saying they cut the fruit fresh every morning. And so we got the 6 clam fritters with the bowl of fruit for $10.
Right.
We had pizza from there the other night. They have pizzas. Obviously, they have a full bar.
Right.
I think you had a peach daiquiri the other day.
The first day. We
and
were watching NCAA basketball.
Yeah. And I've been enjoying a local IPA that they have on tap. So
I think it's a little citrusy something.
It was, yeah. So, I mean, they
even have activities. We saw them doing some things with the kids.
They do have activities. In fact, one night, and I wish I could remember because this is, it's a good trip when you can't remember what night things occurred on. They had live music.
Yeah.
They had a gentleman singing up there. They've had some stuff for the kids to do, stuff for adults to do.
I think they had a cornhole tournament today.
Cornhole. They had pickleball this morning.
Hula hooping with little kids.
Yep.
Different things. I think they even have like hikes, walks, yoga in the pool kind of stuff going on at different times. So, yeah.
And so that, truly makes this a full-service resort. And I will say one of the things I've been most impressed, and it's hard to find anything wrong with this place.
Yeah.
I will tell you something here in a minute that but this place is amazing. But here's what I will say might be the most amazing. I have found the people working here.
They're so sweet.
Oh, my gosh.
Nice.
They are so nice.
Friendly.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I haven't come across anybody here that's been off-putting.
No. Everybody's just so friendly all the time, no matter what.
Which is so refreshing.
Right, because sometimes, not everybody's in the best mood.
Right. And now I did mention, I think maybe there is a section that you can pay extra.
Right.
Still part of the resort, but you go through a second gate to get your RV in there called Water's Edge. And again, the whole thing there is everybody in your party must be over 21 to go in there. That area does have a private pool only for people staying in that section. That's kid-free, but if you're staying over there, you can come over here and use the main pool, that type of thing. We didn't do that. There was no need to spend the extra money.
Well, in that section, a lot of sites look at the golf course.
Right. I think if you really wanted a golf course view,
you'd be over there.
That might be a place to go. So you do have options. But yeah, now the one thing, and I said I would share the one thing.
They have some weird rules.
They kind of do. It was really, so we had booked, for some reason I only booked for 6 nights. And so we decided, yeah, we wanted to stay the extra night. And I went up and she said, oh, the site's not available. So our site that we'd been on for 6 nights was not available. But she said, well, you can go pick out another one. And I said, okay. I said, well, just whatever's close. And luckily the one right beside of us was available. And, but they told me I was not allowed to move myself.
Right.
I had to wait for Valet to come and help me move.
Yeah. You can move everything else.
Yes.
But not your trailer.
She said, you can move your stuff over, but do not move your trailer till Valet. You have to call Valet and have them come.
Yeah.
And so I literally this morning, the gentleman who was cleaning the site we're on now, I walked over and I said, hey, we're moving over here. And I said, I understand I can't move myself. He was like, no, you have to wait for us to watch you, basically.
And they seemed a little annoyed by that rule.
I kind of thought so. I mean, and so literally we called Valet.
Yep.
They came over and literally watched me pull out into the street, back up a few feet, make the cut into the site beside, back in, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And here's my only issue about that. I find sometimes it to be a little more nerve-wracking when people are watching me back in. I know how to back in. I can back in on a dime. But sometimes when people are watching, and I know what I want to do with my trailer, and when I have people like waving me and telling me what to do, it just really messes me up. And so I do think there are people out there who really appreciate the help. I am not one of them. And so I guess I was a little put off by that both the night we arrived and even this morning. I try not to take it out on the people because they're just doing what they're told.
Yeah.
But I really wish, they would, it would be nice if they would say, do you need help backing? Because we've had that before. Like KOAs a lot of times will take you to your site and they'll say, do you need help backing in? And most of the time I'll say, oh, no, I'm good. And they just buzz off and go do their thing. And then that way you can back in and get it the way you want it. And, here, I felt like they wouldn't leave until you were ready to unhitch.
Yeah, I don't know if they thought, you were going to go in the mulch or rip up the grass. I don't know.
The thing is, you could be the worst backer in the world. These sites are so wide, I don't know how you could miss. So.
I can remember one time where someone helped you back in, and I do think it was a blessing. It's when we were in Cosby in Tennessee.
Well, yeah,
we had the tiny little tap, and they wanted to clear up in this one spot.
Right. And I was new to towing back then, too, so I appreciated it then.
But anymore, it's like,
no.
It just makes, I think it's unnerving a little bit.
That's a minor thing. I mean, but overall, I love Hilton Head National RV and Golf Resort. So you are actually on the Hilton Head National Golf Course. And so if you like to play golf, this is a great location because you can literally walk over to the clubhouse.
And don't you get some kind of discount?
I don't know that for a fact.
Okay.
I'd heard that, but I because we weren't playing golf, I never asked. My understanding was we're actually setting on part of the golf course. That at one time,
this was
all golf course. And then I wished I knew the exact story. So I may be totally off base on this. So don't go out and tell your friends this story because it may not be true. But I'll share what I had heard. And I had heard was a road was put in, like the bypass. They don't call it the bypass. What do they call this?
The Bluffton Parkway?
Parkway. And it ended up splitting
the golf course.
The golf course. And
it kind of does if you think about it.
Yeah, and so that they decided, well, this doesn't make sense to have a parkway running through a golf course.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
And so they decided, what are we going to do with the other half of the golf course that doesn't make sense now? And they decided to put in this RV resort.
And aren't we glad they did?
We are.
It's a beautiful spot.
It is.
Well, and even like the prettiness of it. It's just beautiful.
Right. And here's what I would say for those of you listening thinking, you know what, I don't want to be at some resort where you're backed in on concrete side by side. Number one, I will say this before I go on with this statement. As I'm sitting here looking, I do not feel crammed in here.
No.
I mean, yeah, they're in a row, but these are not like some KOAs we've been in.
Oh, my gosh, where your awning can't even be put out because you're so tight.
These are actually, they space these pretty darn nice,
Well, and they give you plants. I think they're growing fresh new plants, too, to build up in between each to kind of give you a little privacy.
This is a fairly new resort.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I just think that you know, this may not be for everyone, and this isn't for us all the
Yeah,
time.
normally this is only, we were talking earlier, this is only something we do maybe like at Christmas or at spring break.
Yep.
And then other times of the year we do state parks, national parks,
Yeah.
cheaper campgrounds, more boondocking kind of things. This is a special treat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? There are some people who will only do this kind of camping.
Yeah.
There are some people who will never do this kind of camping.
Right.
But as I always say, I always hope people are respectful of each other. It doesn't matter what kind of camping you do, as long as you're having a good time. For those that like to go out off the grid and boondock and they're having a good time, great for them. And we love doing that too sometimes.
Oh, yeah, it just depends.
And for those people who are like, I would never boondock, I like my full hookups. We know some people like that.
Yeah.
Good for them, So,
it's just what you like to do.
And you know what I've decided? I think I like variety.
Mm-hmm.
I have had so much fun here, even though it truly has been glamping all week.
Yeah.
This has been great. But I also know there's going to be times where we're going to be at Harvest Host with no hookups and sipping on a glass of wine, and that's fun too. But that wasn't what this trip was for.
Right.
And spring break for us is always, we only get the 1 week.
We try to make it a beach-oriented, warm weather-oriented, kind of more special. Yeah.
I will say this too. We went out to Hilton Head one day.
Whew, yeah.
Originally, I think when we booked this, we were thinking we'd go out to the beach every day.
A lot, yeah.
This resort is so nice and has so
many
many
amenities. You don't want to leave it.
You just don't want to leave.
No, it's so simple to just walk up to the pool. You don't have to get in. You can get under some shade if you want. You can do your tanning. You can get in the water versus getting in the car and having to drive to the beach that was crazy town.
Right.
Getting there, all the traffic, and then so many people on the beach that it's just like, it's just so nice here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Hilton Head National RV Park.
It's beautiful.
Resort.
Yep.
Very nice.
Gorgeous.
Patty, this has been not only a great vacation, but a great podcast as well.
It's fun.
But we always wrap up with a Delaney pro tip. And one of these days, we are going to record an episode called Eat In or Dine Out.
Ooh, yeah.
But that's not today's episode. But I do want to give kind of a pro tip. I don't know if there's anything pro about this, but when you're traveling, if you decide you want to go out to eat, and this vacation we've done that quite often, I typically like to look at review sites like Yelp, and TripAdvisor. I think that's a great way to find local restaurants. But here's my insider tip, although I think everybody knows about it. And that is, talk to people that are local.
Yeah.
And they will truly tell you the local places to go get good food.
Right.
And usually one of the things I always start the conversation with somebody who's from the area is, if you were going out to dinner tonight, where would you go? And a lot of times I tell them, I don't want any chains.
Yeah, no chain restaurants.
In fact, I want it to be a dive. Okay? Because I remember we did that a couple spring breaks ago in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and she said, "Oh, okay, I know what you want." And she gave us like 3 places. And the first one we went to, we pulled in, and we're like, this is the farthest thing from a dive. You remember that?
Yes.
The Acme in Gulf Shores?
Right.
But that place was outstanding. And I remember the next day I went into the office, and I said, she says, "Where'd you go last night?" I said, "We went to Acme." And she goes, "Did you like it?" I said, "It was amazing." But I said, "That place was not a dive." And she goes, "Well, I know it's a new building."
Yeah.
But she said, I said, "I'm going to give you a pass on this one." But the thing is, sometimes even when you look at the review sites, you still don't really know. And that's why I love asking somebody who's from the area. And I always, like I said, preface it by, we're not looking for Outback Steakhouse. We don't want to change. Places I can eat at home, I don't want to eat at.
We don't do those.
And that's how you find some of the great little gems when you're traveling. So.
Yeah, we've been awfully lucky to have our friends who have a place down here to kind of give us some insider where to go and what to do.
And that's helped tremendously, too. And I would consider them like a local. Because they do come down quite often.
And then here at the resort, the ladies up in the, I guess you call it the shop.
Yep.
And in the restaurant, Clubhouse, were helpful. You were talking with them. So, yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask a local.
Talk.
Yep. Well, Patty, that was a fun episode. Someday we'll probably listen to this podcast ourselves and remember what a great week it actually was here at the Hilton Head RV Resort down in Bluffton, South Carolina. So let us know, do you like doing some resort camping, and where would be some resorts you would recommend us to go? You can reach out to us on all of our social media platforms. We're at Travels with Delaney, Instagram, Facebook, as well as over on YouTube. Or if the platform you're listening to this in the audio version has a way to comment or to rate, please take time to do so. It really helps us with those platforms. So maybe more people can find Travels with Delaney,
the podcast.
All right. Until next time, everybody, we'll see ya.
On down the road.
Have a good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Travels with Delaney. We'll see you on down the road.